Alright guys, we're live here. We entered a short position a few minutes ago on Watt. Watt yesterday, if you got the announcements in the room, I alerted Watt right around 9 for a short under 9. And didn't get this ad opportunity, but we were able to cover some here at 850, 860 on the bounce. And then the rest of it was covered down here in that area. So it would have been a really nice hold if we were to hold it the entire afternoon. Always would have been, could have been. So we grabbed it short here in the 90s. Covered some on this pop, which really we should have been more patient and added. But we were still on the front side of the move, so it's always good to pay yourself if you see it pivot, because this could have easily kept going. It ended up pivoting and going lower, and we covered the bulk of the position down here right at 8. So we are re-short Watt under yesterday's support. Under 7 and then under 680 it also had some support. So we're short at 680. If it comes back up towards 7 and tests 7, I'll look to add in the position about double the size that we have. We're under the VWAP, which is good. Volumes pretty low compared to yesterday. It's definitely had a very sharp pullback and is easily on the backside of the move if it stays underneath 7. So 7's going to be our stop. If it gets back up into the 690s, we'll add back in. Our first profit target is going to be based on some consolidation early on yesterday around this 630 area. And the reason why I have a profit target at 630 instead of just going all the way to 6 is because short sale restriction is going to get triggered at 635. That's based on yesterday's close being 704. So either you take 10% of 704, which is 70 cents, and subtract it from the close. So once this hits 630, once it hits 634, short sale restriction is going to turn on. So that's where we're going to take our first profit target. Right now, short sale restriction is not turned on, so people are hitting the bid. So we'll just hang tight here and wait. I'd imagine it would try to bounce around 650, but our 634 target might get hit. We'll look to take off. Let's take off half at 34. So it looks pretty weak. We'll go for 35. So we have a cover order out here at 635. It bounced around a little bit here. It was just grinding higher yesterday. Sellers are stacking up at 650. This made a monster move yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw, but we went from 4 to 960. We were up 100%. This trade I didn't alert in the group. Hey Laura, I'm tired. I don't know about you, but I don't alert many trades within Discord unless I really like them. So like this trade, I didn't alert. I went live on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. But you see, yesterday at 12:57, we went short, and then at 140 we covered at 8. So if you look at the chart here, 12.57 we were short, and we covered at 108, which is right here, somewhere in here, I'm not sure. So today we're going to try to do the same. We're short up here. We're short at this breakdown here. And we're shooting to cover we want to cover some here, and the rest we want to cover down there. So we'll see. So Watt right now, it's forming lower highs. Let's see. It's pretty gradual. Lower lows. We want to see lower highs. This is definitely a lower high based off of yesterday. So at most, we'd like to see it come back up towards our entry. Looks like our 635 order is about to fill. We'll see if we get filled. We'll cover half for a nice 50-cent gain. It hasn't filled yet. Short sale restriction hasn't been triggered. We'll just hold. Looking at the daily chart, if we look at the Fibonacci retracements, so if we go from yesterday's, it closed here and went all the way up to here. $7 is our 50% retracement line. So anything under 7, bears are in control. Now we actually traded a little bit. The low of this candle was 635. We traded a little bit at 635, but our order didn't get filled. Yeah, Laura, I'm no more of those. Are you watching Connor? Anybody today? You know what they were up to? I've been having issues getting up on time, but I've been trading pretty well. How'd he do? Oh, thanks. I feel like chat rooms for me are super distracting. It's not as eventful trading by myself, and I'm gonna miss a lot of moves, but I'm not gonna be looking at every single thing that's moving. I can just focus on 1 or 2 stocks. and it's better that way. MRIN was really good today. We had a $7 line here that we played off of, and it just came up today. Went from 7 to 620. And it has short sale restriction on now. What do you mean the fourth chart on the side? Let me see. I think his name's Spencer.
It is getting sucked up at the 200 EMA, which is very expected.
Brandon.
Didn't get a fill, that's okay. You gotta really let Amazon work. If you try the Amazon trade options, the spreads, and it's all about limits and limit orders on there. The only thing we don't want to see SPY here do, even though it did crack lows and through our 248.32 we talked about earlier is support. It cracked through that, but it got sucked back up pretty strong. So.
So he's actually looking at 4 different tickers, which is why he has 4 different charts. Oh, but here he has...
So I'm going to grab another quick copy here, let this trade work out.
This is a 4-hour chart on the side. That's what you're talking about?
Look, I'm not overly
so he's using
SPY's action rate here quite yet.
A 1 minute and then a 4-hour.
If Amazon doesn't dump out,
I've seen a lot of people doing that. They're using larger time frames for the trend, but then using the minute.
I do have a limit order fill out there on my. Looks like it just got filled. So on that Amazon contract, we did have a whopping. I'm gonna sell there. So we made $45. Inching back away from that red we took on Tesla for that $71.
So I'm closing out my TQQQ shares. That was a good trade. I think I made.
The daily chart is all I'm looking for on SPY.
Let's
because
see.
if SPY starts to come back down to that 248 level, I want to see what 248 does. The reason I locked in profits early on Amazon is because the 200 EMA is right there. We have the 248 on SPY, which is going to be major support if you're looking.
Bought in at 129 and sold it at 144.80. Oh no, I'm sorry. Bought in at 32, sold it at 36.
Major SPY support. Looks like we could have got better.
A little bit more than 10%.
Locked in another 100 or so. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's coming up to the first hour open, about 15 minutes away. I like to start looking at the.
Put this guy over here. Potential ad opportunity. I don't really like this yet. I would add around 680 instead of 7 now, if it does get back up to the VWAP. Zero volume on this pullback. A little bit of a cover pop. It's actually low volume sell-off. Now if my 635 order got picked up, I'd probably be adding it back on here. But since we're still in, I don't want to add down here. So I think instead of going live every day, since there's not too much going on, I want to, I guess, simplify my trading. I think I'm only going to go live if there's a good trade. That way, sometimes I don't feel obligated to make a trade because I'm live. So, you know, if you get the alert, that means I'm entering a trade, or one is potentially setting up. I guess usually that is every morning, but we'll see. I'm gonna play it like that for now. How do you find the courses? What do you mean? What courses? Let's have a fun. How did I find them? Asking around, just sharing with other people in the community. I had some courses that were valuable, and there's some communities that share resources with one another. So through sharing resources, I was able to obtain other resources, and it kind of just continues that way. I also have the Learn Plan Profit one. That one I can't actually... Oh no, that one I uploaded in the library. I have the Boiler Room Trading, but that one, he uploaded it a little bit smarter. You could rip it, you could screen record it and upload it, but I don't want to go through all that. So I have login information I could share with you if you wanted to go ahead and log in to the account and take his course. And obviously with that, it would correlate a little bit more with the chat room that he has. Yeah, I think they're waiting to issue those shares with ANY. I saw it up, but I would not take ANY long. If anything, you would just pound it short. It's really good volume today. It's running into daily resistance. You'll see here it had a lot of trouble around 4. This whole consolidation area. The bottom of these daily candles were around 4. I've been waiting for this stock to come back up to short it. Increasing volume on the daily. Kind of came down here at $2 yesterday. The other day we saw it at 2 and we said it was curling. So I mean that was a big 100% move. Our 635 orders creeping up. It should definitely get filled this time. I might even just move it up to like 636. But 634 is short sale restriction, so we'll see. ANY. Yeah, I wouldn't be taking this long. I'd rather take a short swing. Just waiting on Watt. We don't want to see a higher low form. Was he really? I feel like most people start with penny stocks because they have well, they make bigger gains, so you can go in with a smaller account, and they see like a cheap priced stock and think that, I don't know, they could do better with it, when really doesn't matter how expensive the stock is. But usually the lower price stocks have a lower float, so they move faster. So that's why a lot of people do start with small caps, but they're whippy, I guess. They're a little less reliable. So it's interesting to know that, you know, he started with penny stocks and kind of moved away. It seems like a lot of people were doing that. Mike from Warrior Trading did that. I think he's on like Addy or something. He talks way too fast all the time. It's just that's not normal. Unless it's just stage fright or like adrenaline from all the people watching him. But there were some videos too with Will. I think he's all over the place too. It's really hard to follow him. I don't follow him, and I haven't really tried to. I think his videos are really informational. It seems like he's more about selling his classes and posting about the gains that he made as opposed to what he's going to be doing next. From what I've seen, a lot of it's hindsight. But then again, I'm not following him closely. So the SPY's falling. I feel like most beginners are all over the place because they're trying to find success, and they might follow something for a little while. They don't find success, so then they go somewhere. They go try a different strategy. You're better off sticking to one thing, working on that. I do the same thing. Well, small caps aren't working, so let's try large caps. Or shorting's not working, so let's be bullish. Maybe scalping's not working, so let's try to hold longer. And then, you know, you're not taking profits fast enough, so instead of holding longer, let's take profits faster, and then you end up missing the move. It's crazy. You're never going to get the whole move. You're never going to get the top and the bottom all the time. So you're always going to leave some on the table. You're either going to take too soon or not soon enough. So we want to just try to maximize the move, or at least capture a good move. That's what we need to focus on. We're not going to get the top and bottom. We're not going to catch every move. As long as we catch some of them, we'll be alright. Well, this looks like it's going to be a slow trade. Wouldn't be a bad idea to lock in half of it here just because of this higher low. So it is putting in a slight trend reversal. We'll hold tight. We're at 680 here. The market's pulling down. My cash account, I'm long TVIX and SQQQ. I can't believe it actually hit 635 and we didn't get paid. We were up 50 cents a share. Almost. 636 would have got filled. So here we're looking for it to pivot. We want to see it make a lower high here. Not looking to add in here. I'll add in at 680 under the VWAP. The SPY is getting crushed, which is good. People are yelling VTVT. VTVT is running into the 200-day moving average, so I actually like this now for a short. It looks extended. Let's see, 920, a 13D, 85% stake. So somebody took a big stake in the company. Running into 240. If it gets over 240, I mean, you're looking at 3, and then 4, 450, 6. It is up 123% for the day, so looks like good news. They purchased their shares at $1.84. So if you're playing the front side of this move, you can get in short here under 240, play it back down to 2, take some profits, and see if it comes back up and sets a lower high. This one I'm just gonna I'm not gonna touch it yet. Put it on the watch, put it on the side. I think over 240, you just go long. 240, 250. Increasing volume on the buy candles, which is good. Holding up. It is showing a little bit of resistance up towards 240. Some buying support at 35. Now 36. 240s having a little bit of a seller. $235 by 236, 233. I think 240 is a good place for a pullback to set up again, maybe on a different time frame, maybe like a 5-minute time frame. So we top out here at 240. We get a pullback, maybe towards 2. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Maybe like 206. I'm not going to touch it yet. Let's see, maybe to like there on the pullback. That'd be a big move from 240 back down, but risky. So almost setting in a lower high. We're about to get filled. Never mind. Wrong stock. Watt looks like it wants to pivot here. That'd be really good. Our profit target would get hit. So the pre-market lows here were 660. It also had a little bit of trouble here breaking out. Oh, I'm not looking to chase VTVT. So let's see what just happened on that, because it's now testing 250. So say we wanted to get into it. Did it give an opportunity? So yeah, this would be a 1 minute pullback. The only thing for me getting in at 240, like I said, 240, 250. I'd be weary getting in at 240 right next to 250. So as it gets over 250, I think you just take it long here. I mean, over. Look at that support at 246. Now it's at 245 and it just got hit. So there's support, but it's struggling. So I wouldn't feel comfortable going long. I don't feel comfortable shorting it either. I'll just let it play out. It hit 253 and then washed out to 230. A reasonable place to dip by this long would be around 206. So it's definitely showing some weakness. What I would do, wait for a 5 minute pattern to show up. You want to see it hold over 2. Market's pulling down. I love shorting the parabolic, so I don't know why. It just doesn't always work out. It's a lot higher risk. So this has a low of 11. So if you're still playing the 1 minute, the breakout is 233. Increasing volume on the sell-off candles. We'll see if it starts to catch bids. It caught a bid here at 211. You really want to see it fight over 2 and hold over 2. I think 206 would be best. I wouldn't. You could play a 1 minute chart pattern at maybe after the next couple minutes. Alright, so it came back. The low of this candle right now is 207. The 1 minute breakout candle is the high of this candle, which is 219. So you really don't want to see 219 break, and you don't want to see $2 break either. You just want to see it start to channel and consolidate and hold up probably as close to 2 as possible. People might get antsy and volume might start coming in, and it might get a little bit of a breakout here over 220. But you also might be too early, and it might be a false breakout. And if that happens, $2 might break. So here we're seeing some resistance at 220. We're seeing some buying volume come in. We had some shares go through at 220. 220 is the breakout candle, so it's not ready yet. I don't think it's ready. We're seeing a lot more volume come in at 220. So here's the volume coming in. We'll see if this breaks out. There isn't much risk here because you're in at 220. The risk level is 207 or 206. You could even make it 210. So you're risking only 10 cents. Here's some support at 220. So they're showing you that they want to push it higher. So you could be leaning on this guy long. Now if it gets back to 220, which is your entry, you just sell. So your target on this is going to be up towards at least 240 and then reevaluate. That 240 was a critical level based on the daily chart. It was this 200-day moving average. Still on the front side of the move. Volume starting to come in. But it's not getting too much momentum. So we'll see. Now 230. You're sitting nice and comfy. You're up 10 cents. There's a seller at 231 that made some people sell. They saw that guy and they said no. So what you want to see this 220 buyer come back in. I mean, it very well could have been the same buyer and seller. Moving it from 220, selling it at 230. You never know. Looks like people are reacting to the big orders on the tape. See, right when that guy showed size at 220, people came in and bought. Right when that seller showed big size on the ask, people started bailing. So yeah, if you were in, you'd definitely downsize or get out right there before it snapped. As it pivoted and it was coming back down to your entry. So it did get a little bit of a pop. Again, you'd want to see it hold over 2. So now the 1 minute isn't strong, it's not relevant. Go to the 5 minute. Now if you're playing the 5 minute, it still never broke out. You see the high of this candle's 33, the high of this candle is 32, so it never got to be a 5 minute breakout candle. The 1 minute candle pushed, and we didn't get resolution from the 5 minute because it wasn't a good risk for people on the 5 minute. They would be getting in at 233. Their risk is back here at 206, and their profit is at like 250. They're getting in under resistance, so it wasn't a good trade for them. So what you want to see it consolidate, you want to pull back, and then have a better entry closer to 2, maybe around 210. So give this another 5 minutes or so, let it pull back, let it consolidate, and then have the 5 minute pattern set up. And I wouldn't necessarily consider this weak. I would consider this a normal bull flag. Under 2 might show some weakness. Under 180 is weak because they bought shares at 184. And you'd be under the VWAP, you'd be underneath these breakouts. And also beneath the 50-day moving average on the daily. So VTVT is getting some volume. Let's see what it's doing on the charts. It's at this breakout area on the 5-minute. I think that's a little premature, but we'll see. The bulls are getting a little anxious here. There's some support. So I'd feel better shorting this. Just because I don't think it really set up nicely for them. I can obviously get in really low risk here with a stop over 250 over high of day. And my target can even just be $2 for the pullback. $230 is not really the entry that I'm looking to take. I will take it at 245 though. Or no, we'll take it at 230, 238, under that 240 level. There's some size at 240. The breakout was at 233. It looks heavy to me. But let's see what it looks like on the 1. 1 minute it's curling up. Volume's starting to come in. We can wait for 250, I guess. 238 here. Yeah, it's just kind of grinding higher, which makes it stronger. I thought it was just going to pop up here and we would take it. Okay, so our watt order just filled. That's nice. Short sale restriction is not yet. Oh wait. Watt. So short sale restriction just got triggered. This had a low of 33. So short sale restriction is turned on. I might even want to take off a little bit more size because of that. Yeah, let's take off 100 shares. Okay. Because this could definitely have been a strategic pullback by the bulls. But I think really you would have wanted, if you're super bullish on this, you would have wanted to see this hold up a little bit more. Who knows, actually. It came from 450. Now it's at 650. It has short sale restriction. $680. So the shares that we took off here, down in the 630s and 640s, we're going to look to add back in the 680s, depending on how the trade looks. Over the VWAP, we're going to cut it. So we've adjusted our stop now to break even. We're no longer at $7. We're down at 680, and we'll look to add in size there. Maybe another 250 shares. So pretty happy with the way that the last few days have been with trading, with tickets, trades. Definitely not over trading. Definitely not over anxious. Could I have made money on this VTVT pullback? Yes. You know, it came down, it touched that 260 level, so we were saying you could take it from 240 back down. Is it worth the risk? Who knows? Here's another spot to take it short here, because this could be a lower high off of 250, but it is just kind of grinding higher, which I don't necessarily like. But it's a lower risk entry. We're still not quite in the 40s. Let's see, the high of this candle was 247. So in between 240 and 250 is a very low risk entry based off of high a day. We'll see what kind of volume comes in here for VTVT. If it starts struggling, you can take it short with a risk over 250, or if you're looking to get long, there's some size coming in long. We'll see. You can get long. Missed it. So we'll see if this fakes out like last time. You can get in now long at 253. It had 250 and 240 as support levels now. If the tape's moving too fast, look at these sizes down here where you see big size coming through. So, not taking it short. It's a good volume candle. We'll see where this thing can go. Let's see, we're at 280. It had some trouble. $280 and 3. So if this dips back down below 250, yeah, it looks strong. Now it's back beneath 250. Just put in a new high a day. It only put in a 10-cent move. It was, the high over here was 54. I went to 64. Alright, not gonna touch that one. $250. Look at that size coming in. So we'll get in here. Stop's gonna be under 250. See if we can ride this. Come on. Need my heart rate monitor. That was not well played. Alright, that was stupid. So our next order on Watt $5.76, $6.18, underneath 6. Yesterday's low was $5.74. Has a moving average at $5.94. So we'll go with 6. $6.04 to cover the last 150. Alright guys, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to walk away. I'm a little pissed that I just blew that VT for no reason. That was really stupid. I just got chopped up. So let me see if I could place a bracket order. Hmm. Alright, I don't know how to do that. I'll be back. What do I do here? Alright guys, well that is gonna be it, I guess. Profit target reached. Could have been a little bit more greedy and left in a portion, but commissions right now are super high. I think it'll at least come down to 574, so it'd be another 25 cents. I was thinking about leaving in 50 shares of the 100, but it really wasn't worth the risk. Having $6 is a significant bounce level, and the fact that short sale restriction is on, it could cause a squeeze. So overall, that was a really good trade. Little trade recap for anybody that was not with us for the beginning of the day or not with us through yesterday. Yesterday we took WATT, we took Watt short right under $9. After this came down and it failed, we took it short at in the 880s. We covered some at 860 because it was still the front side of the move, and we weren't sure if this was going to be a pullback or if this was just going to be like a pullback and a continuation further, or if this was going to map out as high of day. Luckily, we took our entry in here. We covered some in the 60s, and then we covered the rest at 8. So looking at today, as it came back and it showed weakness under the VWAP, we took it short at 678 and 680 at 952. So here's 951, 52. So as it was coming back down here and it was under the opening price, took it short here at 680. We covered some at 1038. So our profit target for the first one was at 635. It came down here and it touched 635. We didn't get filled. It came back up. Didn't really give us a good opportunity to add. We were looking to add in the 680s if it came back up towards our entry and towards the VWAP, and it never did. It came back and it tested this pre-market low. Never got above that 660. This was really the only add opportunity here, and it got taken very quickly. A lower high formed, so then when it came back and it tested 635 here, this 638 candle is where we got filled, and then I ended up taking a little bit more off because I'm not sure why. I should have held longer. Didn't quite get an add opportunity. We could have added off of 660, but we were still waiting for this 680 entry. That was also going to be our adjusted stop over the VWAP. Our next profit target was $6, and that one just got triggered at 11:06 a.m. So the ultimate target was this 574. We could have left a piece in. It just hit 583. But overall, we were never red on this trade. It was just a green trade. It went our way. We just didn't get heavy enough. And the reason for that was this 680 entry wasn't the best entry, because we were risking off of 7. So if you look at the comments here, it says, you know, we're short at 680 and we'll add back in the 690s if it got back up into the 690s. So I was looking to add right underneath 7 in the 690s, you know, 695. It never got up there, so we didn't get to add there. Overall, we captured an 80-cent move, but for the most part, little less than 50 cents by the way that we traded out. So that's gonna wrap it up for the day, and this is day 4 now, green. So we'll see you back on Monday. If you guys have any questions or if you have any tickers that you want to look at, let me know. But other than that, I'm going to sign off. VTVT made a monster move. I just got chopped out of here. So What I could have done is taken far less size with this trade because it was moving more. So it looks like it does have some resistance up in this 350 area. I'd be very careful with this one. Although last time it had positive news, it gapped up and it held its gains. It didn't even gap up, actually. It just spiked, held its gains. The next day it gapped up and gave it all away. Came back and pivoted at 612 for no reason, really. This had a previous gap level at 322. You'll see we were trading this all the way back in May. Because I use different colors now. So 322 is a level. I don't know. Nothing that I want to touch. I don't want to mess up the gains. I don't want to give back any streaks. So was there something to make you want to entry, or was it impulsive? For VTVT? So I was looking at VTVT, and let's see, it made a high of 254. It had trouble at 240, made a high of 254, and had a pretty good pullback. I guess we were talking about over this line here was still bullish. And then it came back up, and I thought it was weak. I thought it was turning here. It didn't really get the volume that it needed until here. So I got in with anticipation of it failing. And it proved me wrong. And it obviously went up. So actually we took it short here because it only made a 10-cent high and it had lower volume. So I thought that this was going to be a pullback. Took it short. Let's see, at 10.53 we shorted it. 10.51, 52. So here's 54, 53. Here I saw weakness. And it went up to 264 and then came back down beneath the 254 level. So it was beneath 250, and I thought that under 250 it was going to pivot and it was going to turn down. But it actually caught a bid at 246, so it pivoted right at my entry. So then I covered at 264, and I thought it was strong. This was at 10.54. So covered here, 264 was high of day. That was the breakout. Thought it was going to continue higher, and then it pulled back, and I just didn't give it enough chance. I didn't give it enough room to set up for the next leg higher. So, you know, buying a breakout out of high of day, you want to see instant resolution. So I read that one wrong. We were reading it really well beforehand, but then once I got into a trade, I feel like the emotions took over, and then I was kind of scrambling. So just like Watt, it was planned out from before we even got into the trade. You know, you see on the screen, we had it planned. It was a planned trade, and it worked to plan. This one popped up on the scanners, and we were kind of reading it, and I was a little bit more indecisive about it. This last buy at 64, I mean, it would have been wonderful if I held that as opposed to cutting it. You know, I bought it at 64 and I stopped out. Now obviously if I gave it 4 more cents or even 5 more cents of risk, I could potentially still be holding up in this $3 area. But, you know, this looks more like a bearish confirmation. It's nothing that I want to risk putting any money into or losing any other money. Happy with Watt. VT. I shouldn't have even looked at it. It took away the majority of my, not the majority, but it took away $80 here each way plus commissions. So $100 off of this $260 win. So we did get a little bit more than 50 cents with Watt. And it would have been good if that was the only trade of the day. That would have been perfect. Would have been $260 day minus 5 transactions, minus 25. So yeah, overall that's it. So thanks for that, Laura. Thanks for making me analyze the bad trade and not just the one that worked out. Makes me realize what I did wrong and what I can avoid in the future. So shorting the front side of the parabolics over the VWAP, I need to limit my size. So here we're first green day of a parabolic over the VWAP. We're on the front side of the move. If I feel like shorting these pullbacks, which the first one I decided not to, and it worked out perfectly. And I think that's why I felt like I knew what I was doing on this second pullback, which was smaller. Smaller size would have got me, well, we're not sure what would have happened, but either way, day 4 green, that's going to be it. So thanks guys, thanks for tuning in. If you're not subscribed already and you're watching this, please hit the bell. I might not stream live every morning. I might only stream if there is a specific trade to watch. So if you're looking for you know, like active live trades, possibly trade alerts or trade analysis, subscribe and hit the bell. Other than that, I'll probably stick around and watch some. I'll be watching the market for a little bit longer. If anything pops up, I'll go live, so make sure to hit the bell. Alright guys, see you on Monday. Later.